Yes, I know it's a little hard to digest, but Jake Paul finally did something good and saved the boxing industry. In this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how he did it and what you can learn from it. Don't believe me yet? Alright, let's see what Mike has to say.
Jake Paul got 4 million subscribers that follow him. Can you imagine that? I didn't know he existed until my. Excuse me? You heard that? He got 25 million. I didn't know he existed. They help boxing so much. Boxing owe these guys some kind of. They owe these YouTube boxers some kind of, respect. They should give them some belts because these guys make boxing alive. Boxing was pretty much a dying sport. UFC was kicking our butt, and now we got these YouTube boxers. Boxing has been 25 million views. Boxing's going back thanks to the YouTube boxers.
Alright, now that you believe me, let me show you how he did it. But before that, I've marked the timestamps down below if you want to skip to any part of the video, but I recommend watching the whole video as it will give you an understanding of everything with a flow. But with that said, let's start from the top. Now, if you're in my generation, you probably grew up hating Jake Paul like I did, because he was always the problem child, over the top and most of all cringe. But there was a method to his madness. See, the Paul brothers had a strategy. Publicity is publicity, good or bad, just run with it. And that worked out great for them. I mean, just look at the size of their audience, and not to mention their massive Beverly Hills mansions. Alright, coming back to Jake, even though he was massively hated, he did have a lot of eyes on him. And what he also had was a deep understanding of social media and how it works. And you think about it, his whole internet persona of the problematic and troublemaking crazy child is a cheat code to virality. And also, now that I'm above the age of like 5, I highly doubt he's like that in real life. After Floyd Mayweather retiring in 2017, boxing was started to become an irrelevant sport. No one really knew who modern boxers were, and frankly, no one really cared. So it became a free state which was ready to be conquered. Simultaneously, a YouTuber called Joe Weller started making videos of boxing his friends for fun. That's when KSI, who was a really big deal, jumped in. The fight between Joe Weller and KSI ended with KSI winning and something completely unexpected happening. KSI called out the Paul brothers. This was big and broke the internet. KSI and Logan Paul keeping everything on the line, and boxing had almost everyone with a Wi-Fi connection talking. They were the main event, but the younger brothers wanted in too. So Jake Paul and Deji fought too, with Jake Paul coming on top and absolutely smashing Deji's face, which honestly was a little heartbreaking for the most of us. The whole Logan Paul vs KSI spectacle generated quite a 9-figure number in revenue, and now everyone wanted in, including celebrities, athletes, you name it. With celebrity boxing becoming bigger and bigger overnight, there was a lot more competition now. And in boxing, the only way of getting the bigger piece of the pie is by winning. There is no other backdoor routes. He knew this and trained really hard. Jake made sure to show this to the world by easily knocking out other YouTubers. But Jake never really aimed to stop at conquering the realm of celebrity boxing. He always had his eyes on the bigger fish, which is the mainstream boxing. His first attempt at making it big was when he non-stop kept calling out Conor McGregor and going as far as offering him a $50 million check just to show up. But since Conor is arguably at the very top of combat sports right now and being the king of selling out arenas, he didn't feel the need to respond to a petty YouTube boxer. Besides, he couldn't care less on missing out on $50 million as he is the highest paid athlete of 2021. But Jake didn't let that stop him. Instead of jumping straight to the top, Jake decided to climb up the ranks one by one. After brutally knocking out professional athletes such as Ben Askren and Nate Robinson in the first 2 rounds, he went on to defeat Tyler Woodley, who is a former UFC welterweight champion. Alright, so like we heard Mike say, the Paul brothers saved the boxing industry by the sheer amount of eyes they bought in. But why am I only talking about Jake and not Logan, who had the biggest YouTube boxing match against Floyd Mayweather, which supposedly generated $200 million in revenue? Well, that's because Jake is consistently carrying the boxing industry on his shoulders with constant matches and bringing in millions of fans let alone the hundreds of millions of dollars, all by himself. Although we hate him because of his internet personality of being bad, troublemaking, and cringy, the same persona has generated many jobs and has allowed many young athletes to pursue the dream of being the greatest boxer without having to fear that their sport is becoming irrelevant. So, to summarize it all, even though we hope that KSI beats the shit out of you, thank you, Jake, for saving the boxing industry. Now, what's the one thing that helped Jake successfully conquer the boxing spectacle? No, it was not the fact that he got the opportunity while others didn't. It was actually the fact that he set himself apart in the boxing world, which was full of guys bigger than him and stronger than him. By using his internet persona, his insane skills, and the fact that he was undefeated to get recognition in the pro boxing world. That was the things he had and he used to his advantage to succeed. Now in your life, to seize any opportunity, whether it's a college application, job interview, or finding investors, just try to set yourself apart from the crowd and you will start getting recognized and see success coming your way a lot more than usual.